It all began with a simple line. "Well, how are you, Doc? How you been?" For fans of Gunsmoke, that line feels like home, a doorway back into Dodge City's dust and danger. But recently, one forgotten scene has shaken that nostalgia, a tiny moment that somehow slipped past editors, a mistake frozen in TV history. It's more than just a blooper. It's a reminder of how fragile even greatness can be. The scene starts innocently. Marshal Matt Dillon walks into town, trades sharp words with Doc Adams, and confronts a drifter. Classic Gunsmoke grit, silence, and tension. Then, it happens. As Dillon turns, a crew member, half hidden behind a wooden post, moves out of frame too late. The camera keeps rolling. Nobody yells cut. The editor never removed it. In 1973, on small, fuzzy TVs, hardly anyone noticed. But in the age of HD restorations and freeze-frame internet sleuths, nothing escapes. Fans rediscovered the shot, shared it online, and realized this tiny slip was left untouched, uncorrected, almost like a fingerprint from the people behind the myth. What makes that moment powerful isn't just the error, but when it happened. By the early 70 seconds, Gunsmoke had been on the air for nearly 2 decades. The cast and crew were exhausted, budgets were shrinking, and the pace was relentless. James Arness, who had carried Matt Dillon since 1955, was quietly battling arthritis and lingering pain from a World War II leg wound that earned him a Purple Heart. Every slow, iconic stride down Dodge's main street cost him something. Crew's knew mornings were better. By afternoon his limp deepened, and between takes he'd ice his leg and rest in silence before forcing himself upright again. Editors raced deadlines, sometimes with only hours to cut an episode before airing. That unedited moment people laugh about now wasn't simple carelessness. It was fatigue and humanity bleeding through the edges of a legend. Long before television, Gunsmoke existed as sound. Boots on boardwalks, saloon pianos, a tired lawman's voice on CBS radio starting in 1952. William Conrad's Matt Dillon wasn't a shiny hero. He was haunted, weary, moral, in a brutal world. When the show moved to TV in 1955, John Wayne declined the lead, but pointed producers to his tall friend James Arness. "He's your man." Arness stepped in and never left, filming 635 episodes over 20 years. Around him, Amanda Blake's Miss Kitty carried unspoken love. Milburn Stone's Doc returned even after a heart attack. Ken Curtis's Festus and Dennis Weaver's Chester brought humor and quirks that became iconic, even when the physical strain of a made-up limp haunted Weaver later. Behind the barroom jokes were funerals, illnesses, and the slow grief of friends like Glenn Strange, Sam the bartender, dying mid-run. In 1975, CBS canceled Gunsmoke without a farewell, no wrap-up episode, no warning to the cast, just silence. And yet the show refused to die, returning in reunion movies and endless reruns, its influence echoing through westerns and American slang. Get out of Dodge. That tiny blooper, the crewman slipping behind a post while Arness limps through the scene, has become an accidental symbol of it all, proof that behind the myth, there were tired, hurting, determined people doing their best under impossible pressure. In a way, that flaw doesn't weaken Gunsmoke. It makes it feel more real.